नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Are you able to hear me properly?
Yes, so now I
Yes,
can hear.
Prabhuji.
Okay.
In starting on only low, now voice is good.
So we'll begin the new chapter, frustration of the sacrifice of Daksha. So in the last class we discussed that Sati, she entered into yogic samadhi, and in that yogic samadhi a fire emanated from his body, and then her body got consumed with the fire. Sati left her body in front of everyone. So at that time the associates of Lord Shiva, they went to attack Daksha, the sacrifice. But Bhrigumuni, by chanting the mantras of the Yajurveda, he created the Ribu Devatas, and those Ribu Devatas, they actually defeated the followers of Lord Shiva. And these followers of Lord Shiva, they flew from that place to come and report to Lord Shiva. So the next chapter begins at this stage. Somebody can repeat after me. Maitreya Uvacha
मैत्रेय उवाच
भवो भवान्या निधनं प्रजापतेर्
बहु भवान्यां निधनं प्रजापतेर्
असत्कृताया अवगम्य नारदात्
असत्कृताया अवगम्य नारदात्
स्वपार्षदः सैन्यं च तदध्वरर्बुभिर्
स्वपार्षद
स्वपार्षदः सैन्यं च तदध्वरर्बुभिर्
स्वपार्षद सैन्यं च तद् अध्वर्व भुवि
विद्रावितं क्रोधमपारमाददे
विद्रावितं क्रोधम् अपारमाददे. Maitreya said,
Sorry, Prabhuji, to interrupt. Can you please repeat that Advar, that Sandhi? How would you do it?
अध्वर ऋगुभिर् स्वपार्षद सैन्यं च तद अध्वर is the sacrifice ऋगुभिः ऋगुभिर् Ribu is the demigods who are generated by Bhrigu Muni by the chanting the Vedic mantra, Yajurveda mantras. Tad Advara Tad Advara Ribubihi. Say Ribubihi. Tad Advara Ribubir. Ribubihi Vidravitam. By the Sandhi rule, it has become Ribubir.
Maitreya said, when Lord Shiva heard from Narada that Sati, his wife, was now dead because of Prajapati Daksha's insult to her, and that his soldiers had been driven away by the Rubug demigods, he became greatly angry.
So we see here Maitreya Rishi is continuing the description. Bhavaha is Lord Shiva. Bhavanyaha Nidanam. Nidanam means death. Shreyan Swadarmo Vigana Paradharma Swanishtita. Swadarme Nidanam Shreya. Nidanam means death. In the course of executing on Swadharma, even if a person dies, that is superior compared to performing somebody else's Swadharma. Bhavanyaha Nidanam. The death of Bhavani. Prajapatir Asatkritaya. Prajapati refers to Daksha. Why Sati died? Prajapatehe Asatkritaya. Because of the insult to Sati by Daksha Prajapati. Because of the insult committed by Daksha towards Sati. Prajapatir Asatkritaya. Avagamya, understanding from whom? Naradat, from Narada Muni. So Narada Muni came and told Lord Shiva about the death of Bhavani because of the insult committed by Daksha Prajapati. Hearing about that, and also the Lord Shiva also heard that Swaparshada Sainyam cha tad advara rububihi. Swaparshada Sainyam, the Sena which is sent, his associate which Lord Shiva had sent, Vidravitam, they were driven away by the Rububihi, by the Rubu demigods who arose from the sacrifice. Hearing these two instances about the death of Bhavani and about how his own associates were driven away by the Rubu demigods, Krodam Aparamadade, Lord Shiva became extremely angry. Became extremely angry. So Prabhupada writes beautiful purport. So Lord Shiva understood that Sati is going there in order to resolve the misunderstanding between him and Daksha. Lord Shiva felt that Sati, being the youngest daughter, maybe she could present about the purity of purpose of Lord Shiva. How it was misunderstood by Daksha, and he hoped that maybe Sati would resolve that misunderstanding. But then such a compromise was not attained. On the other hand, Sati was deliberately insulted by Daksha. So Sati had the ability to kill even Daksha. Because Sati is the nothing but Durga. Durga has the ability to destroy the entire universe. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Rekha Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Bibarti Durga Ichanu Apiyasya Chacheshtate Sa Govinda Purusham Tamakam Bhajam. So Durga acts like a shadow of Lord Govinda. And she is an agent for creating, maintaining and destroying the universe. the Maya potency, who is the shadow of the Chit potency of Krishna, is worshipped by everyone as Durga. And this Durga is the creating, maintaining, and destroying agency of the material world. And this Durga conducts her activities according to the will of Krishna. Ichan Rupam Api Yasya Chacheshtatesa Govinda Madi Purusham Tamakam Bhajan. So therefore, Sati had the ability to destroy Daksha. She had the ability to destroy the whole universe. What to speak of Daksha. But then Sati did not do so because Daksha is her father. And moreover, if she had killed Daksha, it would only bring bad name to Lord Shiva. So therefore, she decided to give up her own body. The sound keeps coming. So therefore, Sati decided to give up her own body. And when Sati passed away, and the news was conveyed by Narada to Shiva. So Narada always carries the news of such events because he knows their import. Sometimes Narada is presented like a comedian in the different serials. But that's an offense to Narada actually. So Narada knows what to convey at what time exactly. So therefore, Lord Shiva became extremely angry, and he also understood that the Bhrigumuni had created the Ribhu Devatas by chanting the mantras of Yajurveda. So Lord Shiva wanted to reply to this insult. Therefore, he decided to kill Daksha, because Daksha is the cause of the death of Sati. So we see that this purport, one of the points made by Prabhupada. Sati wanted to resolve the misunderstanding between Daksha and Shiva by presenting the purity of purpose of Lord Shiva. But Daksha was not in a position to listen. Many times a person may be very stubborn and may be attached to one's opinion, and doesn't want to understand the purity of purpose of the other person. So therefore the misunderstanding continues. So one of the phenomenon of this material world is that being misunderstood. The bigger we are, bigger is the misunderstanding. So sometimes a rope is misunderstood to be a snake, or vice versa. Sometimes imitation is taken to be real, and real to be imitation. So nobody in this world can avoid being misunderstood. So if we are actually worried about being misunderstood, and if we are obsessed with being understood properly, then we will have to become inactive in this world. Because when we perform action, many times it will be misunderstood. We perform any action, oftentimes it may be misunderstood by different people. So Buddha said that action is the cause of bondage. So therefore, let us stop performing any action. Therefore, Buddha's philosophy is called as Shunyavad. On the other hand, Krishna taught Karma Yoga. Krishna told how one should perform one's duties without expectation of the result and as an offering to the Supreme Lord. So Krishna said that nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtat yakarma krit karyate kyavashak karma sarva prakriti jair gunai. That one cannot remain inactive even for a moment. So Krishna did not advocate Shunyavada Buddhism. So when we see the life of Krishna, Krishna's life is misunderstood by so many people. They misunderstand why Krishna ate butter, why Krishna was stealing the butter, why Krishna killed his own uncle Kamsa, why did he dance with other men's wives, how could Krishna allow the Kurukshetra war to happen, why did he make the truthful person like Yudhishthir to speak a lie. Like that, the people, there are so many things uh, about Krishna which people have misunderstood. But although so many people misunderstand Krishna's actions, but Krishna does not stop performing actions. Krishna does not stop functioning. Krishna continued to act, but for the sake of establishing dharma. So Krishna came to establish dharma, and the part of the mission of establishing dharma is that being misunderstood by others. So therefore, being misunderstood by others should not change our responsibility to carry out our dharma. So therefore, Krishna says that actually, Name parthasti kartavyam trishilokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayevacha karma. I don't have any duties to perform in the three worlds, but still I perform my duties. So usually when we are misunderstood by others, that time we may lose the enthusiasm to perform our duties. I did so much and they misunderstood me. So why should I continue to perform? But Krishna continued to perform actions for the sake of establishing dharma, although being misunderstood by others. So we have the choice to stop functioning so that nobody misunderstands us, or even when we stop functioning so that nobody misunderstands us, we may be misunderstood for the action of our inaction. We may be misunderstood for the decision of inaction. Therefore, we may hope that, okay, I'll stop functioning because so that I don't get misunderstood. But even our action of not wanting to function, that may be misunderstood by others. So therefore, better to choose the other option, continue to perform, continue to function, continue to perform our actions for the sake of dharma and be misunderstood. So in that way, at least we'll make a positive contribution. So here, so we see there are many instances, even in the acharyas, like here, Daksha Prajapati misunderstood Lord Shiva and he was not ready to listen. There was no open-mindedness in Daksha to listen. Another episode in the 6th canto, Sati or Parvati misunderstood the Chitraketu Maharaj. She misunderstood Chitraketu Maharaj laughing at Shiva. She considered that to be like an offense and cursed him. Krishna himself was misunderstood when he was present in the earth. Not only by he was misunderstood even by the very residents of Dwaraka who told that, oh, Krishna has only stolen the Shyamantaka jewel and killed Satrajit. Krishna had to prove how he did not actually steal, how he did not kill Satrajit. Srila Prabhupada was writing letters to Keshav Maharaj to send some assistance for his preaching in the US. So Keshav Maharaj's health was very bad. He was in the last stage of his life. And the disciples of Keshav Maharaj, they wrote that letter telling about the condition of Keshav Maharaj. But somehow those letters never reached Prabhupada. And Prabhupada continued to write letters asking Keshav Maharaj to send some manpower and money power. And the disciples of Keshav Maharaj, they misunderstood Srila Prabhupada. They felt that although we are written about the health of Keshav Maharaj, without inquiring a single word about Keshav Maharaj's health, he is only asking for manpower and money power. They misunderstood Prabhupada. They didn't realize that the letters which they sent were never received by Prabhupada. So the framework of the material world is such that sometimes even the acharyas are misunderstood. And Prabhupada, when he was dealing with the Jugu temple land, Prabhupada's own disciples misunderstood Prabhupada and they cancelled the deed without asking Srila Prabhupada. They could not understand Prabhupada's devotion and his words and the words which he gave. He promised to Ras Bihari that you please stay here, I will build a temple for you here. They could not appreciate Prabhupada's, they could not understand Prabhupada's mood of devotion. They felt that why Prabhupada is adamant about having this land. Gadadhar Pandit was misunderstood by other devotees for giving shelter to Vallabha Bhatta. So Vallabha Bhatta, when Mahaprabhu said that one who does not accept Sridhar Swami's commentary, I can't accept such a book. So Vallabha Bhatta, then after Mahaprabhu spoke like that, other devotees stopped associating with Vallabha Bhatta. And then Vallabha Bhatta came to Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit being soft-hearted, he would listen to Vallabha Bhatta. But then other devotees, they misunderstood Vallabha Bhatta, they misunderstood Gadadhar Pandit, saying that Gadadhar Pandit is associating with Vallabha Bhatta. So like that, we see that misunderstanding is there. The nature of the material world is like that. Sati, Prabhupada says that Sati could have killed Daksha, but she did not do so because Daksha is her father. Then if she had killed Daksha, it would bring a bad name to Lord Shiva also. The Ramayana also, Bharat was so angry with Kaikeyi and Mantra, they could have killed Kaikeyi, Mantra, but they felt that, but then Lord Ram would not be happy. So only for the sake of Lord Ram, they spared them. Next shloka. But you can chant. क्रुद्धसुदष्टौष्टपुतस्स धूर्जटिर्
क्रुद्ध सुधष्टौष्ठ पुतस धूर्जटिर्
जटां तडिद्वह्निस सटोग्ररोचिषम्
जटां तदित् वह्नि सतोग्र रोचिषम्
उत्कृत्य रुद्र Sahasottitho hasan.
उत्कृत्य रुद्र सहसोऽस्तितो हसन्
Gambhiranado visasarjatambuvi.
गम्भीरनादो विससर्जताम्बुवि. Translation. Thus Lord Shiva, being extremely angry, pressed his lips with his teeth and immediately snatched from his head a strand of hair which blazed like electricity or fire. He stood up at once, laughing like a madman, and dashed the hair to the ground.
So Lord Shiva became extremely angry. He was biting his teeth. He took a strand of hair from his head, and then from that strand of hair, like he dashed that strand of hair to the ground. When he did that, from that strand of hair, Veerabhadra came. A fearful black demon was as high as the sky. Tatotikayas tanuvas prushan divam sahasra bahur ghanaruk trisuryadrik. Trisuryadrik. Trisuryadrik means like his eyes were bright like three suns. And Atikaya Tanuva, Sprushan Divam. So, like he had a huge black figure which Sprushan Divam. He was so tall that his body touched almost the sky. Sprushan Divam Tanuva. Sahasra Bahur. Veerabhadra had 1,000 arms. Ghanaruk. Ghanaruk. Trisurya Drik. Karala Damshro Jwaladagni Murdaja. He was projecting his teeth. His eyes were bright as the three suns. His hair was like a blazing fire. Murdaja refers to the hair. Jwaladagni. His hair was like a blazing fire. And this personality appeared Kapala Mali. He had a garland of the human skulls. Vivida Udyata Ayudaha. He was holding various weapons in his hands. So this personality appeared, and then what he asked, he said that Tam Kim Karomi. What shall I do? Grinantamaha. Tam Kim Karomi iti Grinantamaha. Baddhanjalim Bhagavan Bhutanatha. With the folded hands, he asked that what shall I do? Bhutanatha, the Lord of the ghosts, that is Lord Shiva. What did Lord Shiva say? Daksham sayagyam jahimat batanam twamagrani rudra batam shakome. Daksham sayagyam jahi. Jahi means kill. Jahi shatrum mahabaho kamarupam durashadam. The Gita it comes. Jahi means kill. Kill Daksha along with a sacrifice. Sayagyam. And then he said that Batam Shako, Rudra, skilled in battle, Mad Batanam Tvam Agrani. Mad Batana means among my associates, Tvam Agrani, you are my chief associate. So Lord Shiva is also glorifying him, encouraging him. Among all my associates, you are my chief associate, and your job, your service is that kill Daksha and destroy his sacrifice. So here Prabhupada says that here is the competition between the Brahma Tejas and the Shiva Tejas. So Bhrigu by his Brahma Tejas, he created the Ribu Devatas. And Lord Shiva by his Shiva Tejas. Lord Shiva by his Shiva Tejas, he has created the this Virabhadra. So now there is going to, first Virabhadra is going to attack the Ribu Devatas created by the Brahma tejas of Bhrigumuni. So we see that, so this Brahma tejas, Bhrigumuni is a Brahmana. So from the power of his Sattva Guna, he created the Ribu Devatas. So Lord Shiva, who is in charge of Tamo Guna, from his strand of hair, he created the Virabhadra. So Virabhadra represents the mode of ignorance. So now there is a competition between the Sattva Guna and Tamo Guna. So Prabhupada says that that is the way of material existence. Even when somebody is situated in Sattva Guna, there is every possibility that his position will be mixed with Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So the pure Sattva Guna is a basic principle of the spiritual world, Shuddha Sattva. But the pure Sattva Guna is not possible in the material world. So therefore, in the material world, there will be definitely be always struggle between the Sattva Guna and Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So this quarrel between Lord Shiva and Bhrigumuni, centering around Daksha, is a practical example of such a competition between Sattva-guna and Tamo-guna. In the Bhagavad Gita 14.10, Krishna says that Rajasattvam Rajastamas Chabibhuya Sattvam Bhavati Bharata Rajasattvam Tamaschaiva Tamasattvam Rajastata. Krishna says that how the three gunas are always competing with each other. Sometimes Sattva Guna becomes prominent, sometimes Rajoguna becomes prominent, sometimes Tamoguna becomes prominent. This way, there is always competition for supremacy. So therefore, even a person who is predominantly in Sattva Guna, such a person also gets overcome by the Rajoguna or Tamoguna. So then, Agyapta Evam Kupitena Manyuna Sadeva Devam Parichakrame Vibhum Mene Tadatmanam Asangarambhasa Mahivasam Tata Sahas Sahishnum. So Maitreya further says that Agyapta Evam, in this way being ordered by Shiva. In this way, Kupitena Manyuna, in this way being ordered by the angry Shiva. What did Virabhadra first do? Sa Deva Devam Parichakrame. First he circumambulated Lord Shiva. First he circumambulated the Vibhum, the powerful Lord Shiva, who is the Deva Deva, who is the Lord of the Devatas. And then Tada Atmanam Mene. Atmanam Mene means Virabhadra considered himself to be capable. Considered himself to be capable. Capable of what? Asanga Rambhasa Mahiyasam Tata Sahas Sahishnu. He considered himself to be capable of combating the strength of the strongest. Sahas Sahishnum. Sahas Sahishnum means Mahiyasam Sahaha. Mahiyasam means the very strong people. Saha means the strength. So Sahishnum. Sahishnum means match. Or Sahishnum means combat. So after circumambulating Lord Shiva, Virabhadra got a self-confidence that I am capable of combating or fighting with the strength of the strongest people. Asanga Ramghasa. And I have such a speed. Ramghasa means a speed. Tasyaiva heto prayateta kovido nalabhyate yad brahmatam uparyadaha tallabhyate dukkavadanyata sukham kalena sarvatra gabira ramghasa. Gabira ramghasa. This shloka comes in first canto, fifth chapter. So how the time factor Gabira Ramghasa, it travels with a great speed. So Asanga Ramghasa means this Veerabhadra thought that I have a speed which cannot be matched. So I have the capacity to combat with the strength of the strongest people. So with that self-confidence, Veerabhadra left that place. Further. Anviyamana Satu Rudra Parshadair Brusham Nadadbir Vyanadat Subhairavam Udyamya Shulam Jagadanta Kantakam Sampradravat Goshana Bhushanangrihi. So Veerabhadra did not go alone. Rudra Parshadair. He went along with the followers of Shiva. Anviyamana. He was accompanied by the followers of Shiva. And these followers of Shiva made a Brusham Nadadbihi. Brusham Nadadbihi. Nadadbihi means roaring. They made a tumultuous roaring sound. Brusham Nadadbihi Vyanadat. They made a tumultuous roaring sound. And Subhairavam. Nadadbir Vyanadat Subhairavam. Udyamya Shulam Jagadanta Kantakam. Sampradravat Goshana Bhushanangrihi. Angri means the feet. Bhushana is the ornaments in the feet. So when the Veerabhadra was walking along with the associates of Lord Shiva, by his walking, when he was walking, the ornaments in his feet, Goshana, they made a thundering sound. So the ornaments in the feet also made a thundering sound. Goshana Bhushanangrihi. Sampradravat means he hurried to the sacrifice. With great speed he went. And then this Veerabhadra also had a Trishula. And this Trishula was like Jagad Antaka Antakam. Jagad Antaka Antakam. Jagad Antaka means Jagad Antaka refers to death personified. Jagad Antaka Antakam means death for the death personified. So that the Shula on the hand of Veerabhadra, the Trishula on the hand of Veerabhadra was like death for the death personified. You can see the minute description of Veerabhadra and his associates. So the trident was like a death for the death personified. And Goshana Bhushanangrihi, the ornaments on his feet also made a tumultuous sound. And then this Veerabhadra, with great speed, Sampradravat, he went to Sampradravat, Sampradravat, he went to the sacrifice. So at that time, when Veerabhadra went there, so in the sacrifice, suddenly they saw a darkness everywhere. Suddenly, the whole sacrificial arena became very dark. Ata Ritvijo Yajamana Sadasya Kakub Udichyam Prasamikshya Renum Tamak Kimetat Huta Yetad Rajo Bhut Iti dvijapatnyascha dadyuh. So suddenly the whole sacrificial arena became very dark, and suddenly there was a dust storm. Suddenly there was a huge dust which was flowing. So by seeing that, they started conjecturing what happened, what is happening there. Prasamikshya means seeing. Seeing what? The tama, the darkness, in the udichyam, in the northern direction. Seeing the darkness in the northern direction, Ritvijaha Yajamanaha Sadasya. Ritvijaha, that means the priest. Yajamanaha means the sponsorer, Yajamana, the sacrifice. Sadasya, the assembled guests. All of them, they understood that the darkness is because of the dust raised. Rajobhut, because of the dust, there is a darkness. And then, but then why this suddenly this dust has come? Iti dvijapatyacha dadyuh. The dvija, the brahmanas, and the wives of the brahmanas, dadyuh, they then started thinking that kim etat rajobhut. Why is it that suddenly this dust has come? From where has this kuta etat rajobhut? Kuta, from where this dust storm has suddenly come? And then they started conjecturing different reasons why this dust storm has come. That is mentioned in the next shloka. Somebody can repeat after me. Vatanavanti nahi santi dasyava.
वातानवान्ति नहि सन्ति दस्यवः
प्राचीन बर्हिर जीवति होग्र दंडः.
प्राचीन बर्हिर्जीवति भोग्रदण्डः
गावो न काल्यन्त इदं कुतो रजो.
गावो गावो नः काल्यन्त इदं कुतो रजो
लोको धुना किं प्रलयाय कल्पते.
लोको धुना किं प्रलयाय कल्पते. Conjecturing on the origin of the storm, they said, there is no wind blowing and no crows are passing, nor is it possible that the dust storm could be raised by plunderers, for there is still the strong king Barhi who would punish them. Where is this dust storm blowing from? Is this the dissolution of the planet now to occur?
So they are asking that, they are feeling that, oh, this dust storm, is it because of suddenly some wind is blowing? And then they saw that vata na yanti, winds are not blowing. It's not because of some wind blowing. And then they thought maybe some thieves are actually, there's a gang of thieves are actually running. Because of that, the dust is actually flowing in the air. But then they felt thieves become active when there is no strong king. Then only the thieves become active. But then they felt nahi santi dasyavaha prachina barhir jivati. So at that time, King Prachina Barhi was ruling the kingdom. Prachina Barhi is a powerful king, he is ruling the kingdom. So how can the thieves become prominent? Therefore, it is not because of the thieves running. And what is the nature of Prachina Barishi? Ha Ugra Danda. He is not some Dugla Patla king, actually. He is a Ugra Danda. He administers severe punishment. Such a king, Prachina Barhishi, is still living. So how can the thieves become prominent? And then they thought maybe somebody is herding the cows. Because of the moving of the cows, the dust is raised. But then they felt Gavo na kalyanta idam. But nobody is herding the cows now. Still, idam kuto rajo, from where the dust is coming. And then they thought that loko aduna kim pralayaya kalpate. Is it that the world is ready for some final destruction? Is it the time of pralaya? Like that, they are conjecturing in different ways. So one point which Prabhupada is highlighting, Prachina Barhir, Ugra Jivati, Prachina Barhir, Ugra Danda Jivati. King Prachina Barhir, who administers severe punishment, is certainly living. See, when there is a powerful king living, the thieves cannot actually become prominent. So therefore, Hitopadesha also mentions in Niti Shastra, it says that Raja Dharma is the basis of all the other dharmas. Raja Dharma gives shelter to all the other dharmas. Because when the powerful king is there, when he is performing his Raja Dharma, what is Raja Dharma? Anybody who deviates from Dharma, he will award severe punishment. Previously, anybody who deviates from Varnashram Dharma, he will award severe punishment. So Raja Dharma, so when such a powerful Raja is there, then everyone will perform their dharma properly. Therefore, Niti Shastra says, I don't have the shloka here, but Hitopadesh says that our Raja Dharma is the basis of, it gives shelter to all the other dharmas. So therefore, even the Bhagavatam, when King Vena died, King Vena was killed by the Brahmanas, at that time the thieves became prominent. At that time the thieves became prominent. So in the Ramayana also, in the conversation between Ram and Bharat, or in the Vasishtha conversation, there is an entire section which talks about the state of a kingdom when there is no king. When there is no king, how the kingdom becomes, how the kingdom is exploited by the thieves and rogues. So Ramayana also, there is a section about a kingdom without a king. And in the Bhagavatam also, when Shringi curses Parikshit Maharaj to die within 7 days, so at that time, when Samika Rishi comes to know that, Samika Rishi speaks about kingdom without a king, because the king, Parikshit Maharaj, has been cursed to die within 7 days by Shringi. So at that time, Samika Rishi says that a personality like Parikshit Maharaj, who is the king, he is never to be placed on an equal footing with a common man. Parikshit Maharaj is the representative of the Supreme Lord. The citizens of the state live in prosperity, being protected by his unsurpassable prowess. Alakshyamane Naradeva Namni Ratanga Panav Ayamanga Lokaha Tadahi Chaura Prachuro Vinangshyat Arakshyamano Vivarutavat Kshanat. My dear boy, the Supreme Lord who carries the wheel of a chariot is represented by the monarchical regime. And when this monarchical regime is abolished, the whole world becomes filled with the thieves. And then these thieves, they at once vanquish the unprotected subjects, like a scattered lambs. And then Samika Rishi says that Tad adyana papam upaiti ananvayam yannashta natasya vasor vilumpakat parasparam gnanti shapanti vrinjate pashun striyortan purudas dasyavo jana. Because you have cursed Parikshit Maharaj to die within 7 days, now the monarchical regime has been terminated. Due to the termination of the monarchical regime and the plundering of the people's wealth by rogues and thieves, there will be great social disruptions. People will be killed and injured, and animals and women will be stolen. And for all these sins, we will be responsible. And then further, Samika Rishi says, Tadarya dharma praviliyate nrinam varnashrama charayuta strayimaya tatortha kamabi abhiniveshitatmanam shunam kapinam iva varna sankar. So at that time, when the monarchical regime is terminated, people in general will fall systematically from the path of a progressive civilization. They will stop performing their varnashram dharma. They will fall from the path of a progressive civilization in respect to the qualitative engagements of the castes and the orders of the society and the Vedic injunctions. They will be more attracted to economic development for sense gratification. They will not follow dharma to earn artha. They will not follow dharma to fulfill their kama. And as a result, there will be an unwanted population, Varna Sankara, on the level of dogs and monkeys. So these 3 shlokas were spoken by Samika Rishi as what is the result of a kingdom without a king. The same thing also, episode comes in the Ramayana also. And the 4th canto, we will see later. Chapter 14, we will see. After King Vena died, when there was no king, how the kingdom became kingdom was being exploited by the rogues and thieves who became prominent. So therefore, the Niti also says that the Raja Dharma is the basis of all the other dharmas. It is also demonstrated in the Bhagavatam here. So therefore, it is important that every devotee should also exercise their voting right to choose the government which is pro-dharma. If we don't choose, if we actually choose our voting option to choose a government which favors adharma, or if we choose our voting right to remain neutral, not to exercise our voting right, either way, we will also be responsible for whatever adharma which will take place when the adharmic government is elected. Practically in Bengal, there is only Gunda Raj going on. There is no practically law and order. The people have chosen such a government. So therefore, it is important, even from a Shastric point of view, Raja Dharma is the basis of other dharmas, basis of the other Varnashram dharmas. So here, so therefore these, they are conjecturing, why is this dust which is raised? Where is this dust coming from? So one of the point of the conjecture is that maybe the thieves and rogues have become prominent. But then they felt, but then the Prachina Parishad who award severe punishment is still ruling. How can there be thieves and rogues? Therefore, Prabhupada says that when in the name of justice thieves are allowed liberty, the state and kingdom are disturbed by such plunderers and unwanted population. And then they finally felt that maybe it appears that the time of pralaya has come. The dust storm created by the soldiers and assistants of Lord Shiva resembled the situation at the time of dissolution of this world. So when there is a need for dissolution of the material creation, this function is conducted by Shiva. So this present situation, actually it is not a pralaya kala, but this situation resembled the time of pralaya. So then further, how the chapter proceeds, you will see in the next class. And then further, what was conjectured, what is actually happening, you will see in the next class. So today, in summary, what we discussed, we saw that how Lord Shiva came to know about the death of Sati, then he created Veerabhadra with a strand of hair, and then he sent Veerabhadra. We discussed about something about the nature of the world. We also saw a very vivid description of Veerabhadra. And Veerabhadra and the associates of Lord Shiva come to the sacrifice of Daksha. So there was a dust storm which was raised, and by that, how they were conjecturing about the reason for the dust storm. We discussed this. So, 9th shloka, we'll see next class. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. So if nobody has any question to ask, like I just wanted to know, one of your lectures, yourself had mentioned it's regarding, I think, Madhyakand 9.202, wherein the purport read was that all glories to the Lord who is unknown to the Vedas. So just wanted to know that this who is unknown to the Vedas means what we read in Bhagavad Gita, that yam imam pushpitam vacham. Is it like that something? Because then it is like Vasudev para Veda, Vasudeva para Makha.
The sense that many times, even by the study of the Vedas are the only way by which we can understand the Lord. But even by the study of the Vedas, one can it may be possible that one may not reach the conclusion of the Vedas. Because that's why it is said that Shastras are like a dense forest. When there's a dense forest, unless you have the help of a person who knows the in and out of the forest, you cannot reach the desired destination within the forest. You may be within the forest, but without the help of a person who is familiar with the forest, sorry, you cannot reach the desired destination. So the Shastras are also compared to a dense forest. So without the help of a person who is well versed with the Shastra, when we read the Shastra on our own, it may be possible that we may not reach the proper conclusion. Just like when a person who is not well versed with the forest, he is in the forest, but when he tries on his own, he may get lost in the forest. There is also a verse in the Bhagavatam. Share that. This verse is in the 3rd canto. Evam Triloka Guruna. Evam Triloka Guruna Sandishta Shabda Yonina Badaryashramam Asadya Harimije Samadhina. Shukdev Goswami informed the king that Uddhava, being thus instructed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Shabda Yonina, who is the source of all Vedic knowledge, and the spiritual master of the 3 worlds, Triloka Guruna, that Uddhava reached the pilgrimage site of Badrikashram and engaged himself there in trance to satisfy the Lord. So in this shloka, Evam Triloka Guruna Sandishta Shabda Yonina, one who is the source of all Vedic knowledge. In regarding this word, the Acharyas comment, what they comment is that persons who are attached to the words of the Vedas may also know from this verse that the Lord is the source of all Vedic knowledge. One is unable to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by going through the pages of the Vedas, may take shelter of one of the Lord's devotees such as Uddhava in order to advance further in knowledge of Supreme Personality of God. So, Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhaktav. Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhaktav Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam. Brahma Samhita says that it is very difficult to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the Vedas, but that he is easily understood from a pure devotee like Uddhava. So, even by studying the Vedas, it is possible that one may not understand the Supreme Lord. Because why I am mentioning that, and even by studying the Vedas means, even by studying the Vedas on one's own effort, it is like going into the dense forest and getting lost in the forest. But when you come in contact with a person who is familiar with the forest, he will take you to the destination immediately. Similarly, when you come in contact with a pure devotee of Krishna, he can immediately present to the conclusion of the Vedas. That is why Tapan Mishra said that Bahushastre Bahuvakye Chitte Brahma hoy Sadhya Sadhana hoy Na hoy Nirchay. I have read so many Shastras, but after reading so many Shastras, my mind has become bewildered in understanding what is Sadhya, what is the goal, and what is the sadhana to achieve that goal. Then Mahaprabhu told Tapan Mishra, the goal is love for Krishna, and the sadhana is chanting the holy names of Krishna. So Mahaprabhu presented immediately Tapan Mishra. He told him to start chanting. So therefore, we see that this particular shloka, Evam Triloka Guruna Sandesha Shabda Yonina. In this purport also, the Acharyas write that although Krishna is the source of Vedic knowledge, it is very difficult, however, to understand the personal feature of the absolute truth even from the Vedas. His personal instructions are needed to understand the personality of God and the supreme absolute truth. So one cannot know the Supreme Lord unless one is graced by the Lord himself. And the grace of the Lord comes through the devotees of the Lord. So even by going through the pages of the Vedas, one may not come to the right conclusion without the help of a devotee. So Brahmaji also, he had to study 3 times scrupulously in order to come to the conclusion. Hare Krishna.
And is it okay if you just repeat that misunderstanding that Gadadhar Pandit? I'm sorry, I just got a bit.
Vallabha Bhatta, he came and presented a commentary on Bhagavatam to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he said that I have presented a commentary which is even better than Sridhar Swami, something like that he mentioned. So Mahaprabhu immediately said that anybody who doesn't accept Sridhar Swami, who is the first commentator on the Srimad Bhagavatam, anybody who rejects Swami, Sridhar Swami, I will not read such a commentary. Like that, Mahaprabhu immediately refused to read the work of Vallabha Bhatta. So Vallabha Bhatta became disheartened. And because Mahaprabhu reacted like that, all the devotees, they also stopped associating with Vallabha Bhatta. But Vallabha Bhatta, he started coming to Gadadhar Pandit because Gadadhar Pandit was a very soft-hearted devotee. Gadadhar Pandit would not, was very soft-hearted. So Vallabha Bhatta started associating with Gadadhar Pandit. He would start reciting the book to Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit was a very gentle Vaishnava. He would not tell him to. Other Vaishnavas, they stopped hearing from Vallabha Bhatta. Gadadhar Pandit, he stopped. He would not tell Vallabha Bhatta to stop reciting. He actually, out of his soft-heartedness, he was just listening. But the other devotees, they misunderstood Gadadhar Pandit. Why Gadadhar Pandit is associating Vallabha Bhatta? That way there was a misunderstanding. Hare Krishna.
So Vallabha Bhatta is, I mean, who is he? I'm so sorry.
Vallabha Bhatta was a devotee. He wrote a commentary in the Bhagavad. Vallabha Bhatta was, yeah, some people say it's the same Vallabhacharya.
Okay.
Mahaprabhu saw the subtle pride in Vallabha Bhatta, and then Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Charitamrita describes that just like Krishna removed the pride of Indra, similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu destroyed the pride of Vallabha Bhatta. Chaitanya Charitamrita describes.
So this is that Rudra Sampradaya, that's what you are speaking about.
Rudra Sampradaya. I think Pushti
What
Marga, I think.
is from Rudra Sampradaya?
No, I think Pushti Marga. Vallabhacharya. Pushti Marga Acharya, Vallabhacharya, same Vallabha.
Who's that? Who's that one who spoke about Goddess Lakshmi? Something from V. Who is he? Who? South India. Some. What is that?
That is Venkata Bhatta.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta